already the...
Darn security controls, a password is needed. Yay!
We just needed a switch through. Okay.
Hi. Thanks for your patience. As we said, it'll all be worth it. We hope to have a really dynamic presentation for you today to review some of OCR and ONC's new HIPAA security awareness tools. So just syncing up here. Maybe I should just get started. So how many of you have been, I know there are many of you who are out on a webinar, but for those of you who are in the room, how many of you have been working within the There we are. Thank you. So here we are. So 10 years ago, for those of us who remember HHS rolling out the HIPAA privacy, security, transaction and code set and enforcement rules, know that we did a lot of seminars. We also did a lot of roundtables with small groups. Many of my colleagues remember doing one-on-one discussions with healthcare providers and others. And also, we did a whole series with VHS video cassettes before the days of DVD. And that really paved our way to where we are today. ONC and OCR have really been working to develop what we call multi-channel distribution so that we're reaching healthcare providers, their business associates, their vendors and subcontractors, anytime, anywhere, anyhow. And really trying to work to get the right information to the right audience at the right time in the right context. We do this a lot every day by email using listserv announcements. We also are trying to leverage the power of social and digital media to provide enhanced communication to our audience that's optimized across all devices, across smartphones, tablets, laptop computers, desktops, and really working to provide information that's clean, concise, and most of all convenient. So OCR has joined in partnership with Medscape.org. This is the provider side of WebMD to launch a brand new resource center called Protecting Patients' Rights. And it's available now online, and we were going to go on and show it to you, but I think it's going to be a little difficult because it's behind a firewall. But this resource center is available with video programs. These are video modules featuring Leon Rodriguez, OCR's director, and ONC's Chief Privacy Officer, Joy Pritz, in a session on the culture of compliance. It provides free CME credit to physicians, and it also is available with free CE credit, continuing education credit for healthcare providers, allied health professionals, and others. We also have a new module on protecting patients' rights, where Leon is in a kind of fireside chat with a small clinician, an obstetrician in Calvert County, Maryland. And they walk through what a patient's rights are under HIPAA and the obligations of a healthcare provider to protect those rights. Really also in the context of the new omnibus rule. There's also a written anthology available for CE and CME credit on the culture of compliance. And all of these are really geared towards the small healthcare provider that really is grappling for information, and we provide a series of OCR educational links. It's a one-stop shop, so people don't have to come out to OCR's website and try to navigate to find information that they're looking for. And this is all available in a mobile device content. So it's totally accessible via smartphones, and it's the #1 mobile app in iTunes. And our numbers have been very, very successful. I think that we've had about 16,000 total page views of the Examining Compliance with the HIPAA Privacy Rule, the written anthology, since it went live, and about 15,000 total page views of the video session with Joy Pritz and Leon Rodriguez. And the new session, Patient Privacy, a Guide for Providers, went live at the end of April, and we've already had 1,700 test takers. So all of these have just been a really successful way for us to reach a larger audience than we traditionally have been able to. And with that, I'm going to turn things over briefly to Laura Rosas, who will tell you about ONC and OCR's Mobile Device Resource Center.
Thanks so much, Rachel. We work very closely with OCR on many things, and one of the things that I think we're most pleased with is our Mobile Device Resource Center. Recognizing last year, as we began to see, almost 2 years ago when we had our mobile device roundtable, when we began to see how much mobile devices have been adopted in the healthcare environment. And really, these are consumer devices that are being bent towards a professional atmosphere and environment, and without often the requisite security features being enabled. So we've really tried to educate providers and staff and all those who are adopting these mobile devices to understand, and the tagline for our resource center is know the risks, take the steps, protect and secure health information, with a real emphasis on educating people on how to use mobile devices in a secure way, recognizing, of course, that you're not going to stop people from using mobile devices. And even in the last 2 years, the adoption rate for these devices has just really exploded. Here's an example of some of our products that are available free online. There are fact sheets, there's posters in different sizes, there's FAQs. And in addition, we have 5 videos. I'm going to try to see if I can get one of these to play. Let's see if I can make sure that the sound is up. The very long disclaimer.
No, go ahead and just get a table. I'll be right there. I just need to check and see if my patient's lab results have come in.
Sorry, Doc. We will do everything in our power to recover your property. Understand, we will be starting a criminal investigation.
I understand. What's our next step?
going to need as much information as possible about your laptop, make, model, serial number, what kind of records were on it.
All my patient's information.
Okay. You need to notify your security personnel at your medical group or hospital. Patient health information may be at risk now.
I don't understand how this could happen. It was only a few minutes for lunch.
It's terrible to lose a laptop or to have it stolen. If you use your laptop, smartphone.
So that's an example. We've got 5 of those with all different scenarios. And as you can see, these are the real breaches that we've said OCR receives on their wall of shame. And it's the things that really happen in real life, where people are at a coffee shop and they're on a Wi-Fi and it's not secure. And people are doing a lot of things with their mobile devices, and healthcare professionals as well, that without really understanding what a lot of those risks are. So I encourage you all to take a look at our site. This is OCR's YouTube channel.
Sorry for the back and forth, but OCR has also launched a YouTube channel which has primarily consumer videos on it, on individuals' rights under HIPAA. One of these is on the right to access your health information, treatment payment, healthcare operations, communicating with friends and family, EHR's privacy and security, examining the notice of privacy practices. And we have a unique video. The cornerstone of these videos is called Your Health Information, Your Rights. We created this uniquely in Spanish, titled Su Información de Salud, sus derechos. And that has had almost 108,000 views since it was launched less than a year ago. And the video we wanted to show you today is the HIPAA security rule video, also about 108,000 views.
The HIPAA security rule. If you're a healthcare provider, you collect information about your patients every day. And under HIPAA, the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, you're required to keep that information secure and confidential. How can you get started on creating a security plan for your office? Experts recommend beginning with a risk analysis. The risk analysis can help you establish the safeguards you need at your practice. Develop and put into place administrative safeguards. Those are office rules and procedures that keep your data secure. For example, you need to decide what information each staff person should have access to. Your plan needs to include physical safeguards, like positioning computers and printers out of patient areas, security locks, or an alarm system. Install technical safeguards. These can include hardware, software, and any other technology that limits access to electronic health records. For example, a software program that keeps computer viruses out of your information system, or tracks who accesses patient information and who makes changes to patient records. Encrypting health records stored on computer hard drives is a vital step in keeping information confidential. Keeping your health information secure is an ongoing process. Making security part of your office routine requires diligence, but it's the only way to protect your patient's information and to protect your practice from fines and penalties. For more tips on complying with the HIPAA security rule and other HIPAA requirements, please visit the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Office for Civil Rights at hhs.gov/OCR.
So this is really meant to be a bit of an appetizer. So it encourages people to come back and learn more on our website, and they can find a wealth of information there. Let's get back down here. Laura's also going to talk to you a little bit about their training materials that they've developed.
So recognizing that people like to get their information and their training in a variety of different ways, and we found that videos, of course, are very popular, and people like to get that information in smaller snippets. We've also developed a video game, and we're working on a second video game. I'm going to try to see if I can show it to you. It can be a little difficult. at times, but let's see if I can get it to play. Basically, it's a series of questions posed by avatars, are based on very real-world examples. Let's see if I can get this into... And this is available free on our website. We've got a lot of really positive reaction. It was released last year. If you go to www.healthit.gov and go to our privacy and security page, you will see the cyber secure your medical practice. And then you get this. So it does this occasionally, particularly if you've changed the resolution. But I encourage everyone to, it's right on the website, and there's about 14 questions, and they're really based on things like, I need to catch up on billing. Should I take my laptop home? Can I do that? And being posed the question that can she take her laptop home or not? And why? How can you do that safely and securely? We have about 14 of those questions, and the current game that we're working on actually is on something I think a lot of the smaller practices really struggle with, which is backup and recovery and contingency planning. So we're focusing on having that second game released, and that will be put out on the listserv. We find that the listserv for ONC is really a great way to reach a lot of people very quickly. We have about 40,000 people on our listserv, so definitely watch for that. Bless you. How many people have seen the privacy and security game? Oh, good. So there are definitely people here who have seen it, which is good to know.
So the other thing that I wanted to mention is the training materials on OCR's website, which are in the process now of being updated to include a computer-based training module that will highlight the new omnibus rule. We are also doing a series of webinars that we've announced with the Workgroup for Electronic Data Interchange, and more outreach and technical assistance will be coming. I think the other thing that's so important are the announcements that we make on our enforcement actions. Each one of these tells a really important story. They tell the story of HIPAA compliance through lessons learned, somewhat tragically by others, but each one of those announcements is worded very carefully. We try to provide advice to the industry about the importance of risk analysis, the importance of ongoing risk management, the importance of training your staff, and the importance of leadership engagement, and really ensuring that covered entities and their business associates and their contractors, that everyone has a culture of compliance and cares and ensures for the patient information that they hold.
So I think we'd like to open it up for questions and to hear, where maybe there are needs that we haven't met, and what are some of the things that you're finding in the field. I know that we hear a lot about the need for training, and that smaller organizations really struggle with trying to develop the training materials and trying to identify where in the budget they can allocate for training. It's a real struggle. So it would definitely be helpful for us to hear from all of you what some of your concerns and questions are.
Please.
Didn't want you to go without any questions.
Thank you.
My company's a business associate, and even with the audit protocol, much of that is aimed at the privacy rule, which doesn't really apply to us. And I think a lot of your training is more adapted to the hospital or practice environment. How about some training for business associates?
I think that's a great idea, and it'll be coming, I promise.
I have a question about covered entities or business associates using the training materials from the OCR or ONC as a substitute or a supplement to their own workforce HIPAA training. Is there a position being taken by the offices on that?
Yeah, that's a really important question. So you saw the very long disclaimer on the video that Laura showed you. Also, if we went into the Medscape materials, you would see the same type of disclaimer, where these materials are not supposed to take the place of the required training of the rule, but rather to augment and enhance training that's already available within the covered entity or business associate.
Thank you. I had one other unrelated question. In terms of what else the industry is looking for, some of the more difficult privacy rule topics like marketing, my sense is that the training that's been offered so far has been more of the basics and real-life examples, but I think some of the more difficult areas like marketing, sale of PHI, the industry would benefit.
Yes, we do have this new computer-based training that will be coming out, and it does delve into more deeply into topical discussions such as marketing, fundraising, sale, other issues that are on everyone's mind right now. And I think the important thing to say with respect to that and material that's already available on our website, we do have all of the slides that the slide deck's available right at this moment that were used for the state attorneys general training. There are many, many slide decks there, and all of them are available for download and to be used by covered entities, business associates, and others as training. So that is a great place to start if one is looking for basic decks on the various aspects of the privacy, security rule, breach notification, enforcement, etc.
Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe we'll look a little bit at the Medscape Resource Center.
Sure, I'll try to pull that up. To the person who brought up the issue of business associates, I definitely agree we need to sort of focus on that. But I think a lot of the material that we have, it applies to both. Certainly, the video game we developed would definitely apply to a business associate. There are billing companies that act as business associates, and they're having people work at home, and there are issues with working at home. And so a lot of that does cross over to those concerns. I think you'll find the backup and recovery is very similar in those issues, and we know that a lot of business associates sort of have a matrix sort of environment where people are working at home part of the time and you're teleworking, and all of those issues would pertain to some of that. While we're teeing up the Medscape videos, any other questions?
My point of view, so I'm working at a provider right now, and we're having a lot of difficulty dealing with, especially with the omnibus, coming to the decisions of scoping what's really a business associate and what's not. So I think what could be useful in the future would be some kind of training or tool to at least kind of give us the basic frameworks, because even diving into the guidance, it's still pretty difficult to really come to those conclusions because there's a lot of gray areas.
Well, I would encourage you to sign up for the forthcoming webinars that we're doing in collaboration with the Workgroup for Electronic Data Interchange, WEDI. These are free of charge, available to anyone who would like to sign up. I encourage you to go out to wedi.org, and they start in June and they run through July. There are 4 of them. So this is the Medscape Resource Center that I mentioned earlier. And scrolling down here, we have these programs for CME credit. And this is the latest one that was launched the last week in April. Here's our disclaimer. So we come up here to continue to activity. And let's see if we can make this happen.
Hi,
there
I'm
should
Leon
be a
Rodriguez,
video that
Director of the Office
comes
for
up.
Civil Rights at the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
There's
Today,
Leon,
I'd
who
like to
you'll
welcome
see
you
tomorrow.
to this program titled Patient Privacy, A Guide for Providers. Joining me today is Dr. Michelle Johnson, a practicing obstetrician-gynecologist at Calvert OBGYN Associates of Southern Maryland. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you, Leon, for having me here today. Currently, I'm in practice in Calvert Memorial Hospital, which is a small area outside of Washington, D.C. The area takes care of 80,000 people. We are the sole providers for obstetrical care in that region in Southern Maryland. My practice includes 5 practicing obstetricians as well as a nurse practitioner. Thank you again for having me today.
Great to have you here today.
Thank you.
The goals of this program are to describe the rights of patients provided by the HIPAA privacy rule and to provide doctors and other providers with strategies to build and maintain a culture of compliance with HIPAA. Let's talk for a moment about who is covered under HIPAA. The HIPAA privacy rule, which is one of 2 major rules under HIPAA, we also
So
have
you
the
can get a
security
sense
rule,
of what these are
became
like.
effective on April 4th.
We have another one here with Leon and Joy Pritz. Again, all of these are available on any type of device, smartphone, tablet.
Hello, I'm Leon Rodriguez, Director
Hi,
of
Leon.
the Office for Civil Rights at the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. I'd like to welcome you to this program titled HIPAA and You, Building a Culture of Compliance. Joining me today is Joy Pritz, Chief Privacy Officer at the Office of the National Coordinator for Health Information Technology. Welcome, Joy.
Good to be here.
The goals of this program are to first outline the responsibilities of covered entities and their business associates under the HIPAA privacy rule and provide strategies to build and maintain a culture of compliance with HIPAA. So I'd like to take a few moments to tell you about what we do in the Office for Civil Rights and ask Joy to talk a little bit about the Office of the National Coordinator.
So there are 2 of these video modules, and these of all of them are probably we're seeing the highest success rate with these video modules. They're very easy for people to watch, and again, there's a little bit of a carrot approach in watching them where an individual gets 0.5 or a half of a CME credit for watching them, or a half of a CE credit if they're an allied health professional. We have 2 more in the series that are coming. One of them is going to be on the risk analysis and ongoing risk management, and really provide in plain language for, again, a small provider audience, what they should be doing within their practice to comply with the security rule. And then the second in the final series is going to be on mobile device security, which is something that we feel is so important. We really, I think, have found that this has been an extremely effective way to reach an audience with our message. And one thing that I wanted to point out to all of you is this polling question. This will change quarterly. So right now we're asking a question: who in your practice is responsible for updating privacy and security policies? Office manager, chief privacy officer, chief information officer, quality manager, or other. When you dive into other, it will allow you to populate that information. And we're really hoping to be able to get some good data out of this. Many of us have speculated for a long time that the office manager is the primary individual responsible within a small practice for HIPAA compliance. That person is usually very busy doing lots of other things. And if I had a dime for every time Tiffany from the orthopedics office called to ask for training and assistance, I would be a very wealthy person. But I think this polling data will give us some excellent information. And then when we come down here, we can look at the resources for medical professionals and business associates. You probably are very familiar with these links, but they all go back to information on OCR's website. The old Are You a Covered Entity? This information for small providers, small health plans, and small businesses. The summary on significant aspects of both the privacy and security rule. Fast facts for covered entities. The business associate FAQs. The new sample business associate agreement that we just posted, the security rule guidance material, the guidance on risk analysis, which is so important. This is a link back to Laura's mobile device security program, communicating with patients, families, friends, and others. Here we go to OCR's website. Let's see if we can get back. Sorry about that. And the last link on here, I believe, is the really important FAQs on disposal of protected health information. This is also an area that we want to delve into when we do this next Medscape series, especially diving into information that might be on a copier, on a fax machine and others, and obviously disposal or impermissible disposal in a dumpster, and training materials on the privacy rule. Again, this goes to our new material that we're going to be posting. And then these resources for patients. These have all been updated post-omnibus. There's information on your privacy rights, privacy, security, and the EHR, understanding the notice, and sharing information with family members and friends. And then going back to the HIPAA videos for consumers. That's the YouTube channel we just showed you. Yes. So let's see if we can get back here. So this is one of our new one of our new fact sheets that we've just posted on the consumer side of our website. These fact sheets, there are 4 of them, are available in 8 languages: traditional Chinese, simplified Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese, Tagalog, Russian, Polish, Vietnamese, did I say? And Spanish, of course. So we are really trying to do our best to reach the widest audience. Always looking for more information from you all on best practices and your ideas for helping us reach especially small providers, business associates, vendor community, as well as consumers. So we look forward to your feedback. Any other questions, comments, tweets? Well, I also want to encourage all of you to follow our director, Leon Rodriguez, on Twitter at OCRLeon, hashtag OCRLeon. Give him a shout. Let him know right now that you love all of his new education materials. And, hopefully we'll all talk soon. Thank you.